I was taught at an early age, birds of a feather flock together. You are the company that you keep. Surround yourself with good people and you'll be good. And that's probably the best lesson that I've ever been taught. It raises the bar for you and everybody else around you.
Welcome to the Leader's Edge podcast. I'm Zach Ewell, podcast producer here at Leader's Edge. In this episode of our Personal Lines podcast series, Associate Editor Chris Hann interviews Andy Barker, CEO of Houchens Insurance Group. Barker discusses lessons of leadership at his company, how he has gotten involved in his community of Bowling Green, Kentucky, and shares why he gets up at 4:40 a.m. in the morning. Give it a listen.
Okay, we are here today with Andy Barker, the CEO of Houchens Insurance based in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Andy, thank you so much for taking the time.
Honored to be here. Thank you, Chris.
You told me earlier that if anyone had told you that you'd be living your adult life in Bowling Green, Kentucky, you'd have thought they were crazy. So tell me why. Why would they have been crazy 25 years ago?
So I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, which is about 2 hours away from here, and my wife's from Nashville. Our whole dream was to get to Nashville, where she's originally from, and spent the first 10 years of my career outside of the industry, chasing a role that eventually got me to Nashville. And so I'd accomplished what I wanted. Opportunity came up one day, and I introduced my wife to the idea that we maybe go back to Bowling Green, and she just cried. Really because our desire to get to Nashville, that's really what she wanted to do. That's where she had grown up and spent all of her entire life. And then little did I know how cool of an opportunity would come to us in Bowling Green. We both woke up one morning and said, hey, this is what God's plan is for us, and this is how we ended up here, and have never looked back. We've had a couple opportunities to leave a couple times and have not, but through what I do in my role and what has happened in Bowling Green, my family has been incredible, and been so thankful for our community, and continue to pour into us, so we poured back into it.
Growing up in Louisville. Tell me about growing up in Louisville. Does that require you to be a basketball fan?
Well, I am a Louisville basketball fan, so that's unusual, just because most of the folks in our office and the majority of the folks I'm surrounded by are UK fans, University of Kentucky fans. So that makes so there's about 6 of us that are here that are Louisville fans. We had to stick together. It happens to be a very good year for us because Louisville is playing extremely well. The fact that we beat them both in football and basketball is a unusual celebration that we got to take full advantage of. But no, I grew up a diehard University of Louisville fan, and probably didn't miss a game till I was 12 or 13 years old with my family, and then later carried that on even while we lived in Bowling Green. My son and I had Louisville tickets and attended the majority of the games and shared it with a couple of other buddies in my office here, and we continue to expand from there, continue to be a Louisville fan to this day. And Coach Brom is a friend that coaches the football team, and I've been unbelievably impressed with what they've been able to turn both programs around, basketball and football.
Tell me about Bowling Green. What's made it? What's kept you there, and what's the appeal for you?
Pretty interesting that you asked that. So Bowling Green is, we talked about this, but essentially located. It's about 55 miles from Nashville, Tennessee. It's about 115 miles from Louisville. Bowling Green is you say it's a rural town, but it's really not. It's grown up to be one of the fastest growing cities in Kentucky. As a matter of fact, I serve as the current chairman of the chamber. That's here. I'll be rolling off at the end of this month, and honored to do so. Economic development here has been incredible. Our ability to be able to attract new business, a lot of it has to do with our location, the 65, which is a major thoroughfare that passes by. It also runs between Nashville and Louisville, so that's a connecting point that has really been advantageous to our city and its growth. It is filled with generous, wonderful people that pour back in the community. You have a collaboration that exists here between the city and the county that also exists with the county school system, the university, Western Kentucky University that's here. You have the Corvette plant that's here. You have all these components that work so well in collaboration together. It's the definition of what a successful family, a successful business, a successful community should be like, and it's continued to thrive from that. And we want to continue to protect that for all the right reasons. But I've truly been blessed by such a great place to live, and it's experiencing phenomenal growth, which has been great for our business selfishly, but it's been great also for my family and allowing them opportunities. And but it's also great for, there's just a lot of positive things that are happening and impacting people, and it cares for the people of the community. It has a great church, great churches that are represented here. It's got a great schooling program from the standpoint of all the way from the university all the way back down to even the kindergarten level that's there. It just makes it unique. And there's some things, advancements that are taking place in Bowling Green. A battery plant that's currently coming to town that will bring significant new jobs. There is a new technical college, not technical college, but technical high school piece that will start preparing high school and younger careers prior to getting in. It's basically a focal point for the entire nation about being so advanced. It's so much more than just a small Kentucky community. It is an advancing community that thrives and has great leadership from the mayor, the judge exec that's there, from the city involvement. We've been so blessed in so many ways. That just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in every community. We get to be exposed to those, and we're very thankful for it. Don't take that for granted in any perspective.
We mentioned earlier this year, your daughter Maddie was crowned Miss Kentucky USA. I am quite sure you're the first insurance executive I've ever spoken to who has spawned such an offspring. Tell me about that competition and what that felt like as a parent.
Well, so you got to know my daughter first and foremost. She's something special. But if you ever met her mom, you'd understand why that took place. My daughter got in pageants, which I had less than zero interest in. When she was a freshman in high school, she won her very first pageant that she participated in. And you would think that my daughter was a pageant girl, and she's really not. I think she won typically because she was very much just well-grounded in not only just the way she carries herself, and then she's very attractive from the standpoint of her personality to those that she deals with. And she's a pleasure to have now involved in our business. She's a recruiter for us. But that whole process of participating in pageants, I mean, I don't know how you talk about confidence building or the opposite. I guess you've got a couple of ways you can take that, and just to see how she grew through that whole process, and that what the advantages that she received in her development as a person through that whole process. I mean, she's got great friends from all across the country now because of that. Her good friend, Audrey Eckert, just won Miss Universe and got to go on. That's really, super unique for her, and Maddie shares that excitement for her. But she's got friends, and the development of that. But on stage questions, exposing yourself to have everybody else critically assess you from afar. Man, I don't know. I tell her I'm glad it's not me from that perspective. But a great experience for us. She's now done with the pageant piece of it. She's moved on from that perspective, and she has gained so much confidence, and it'll be exciting what life holds for her going forward.
I listened to an earlier interview that you did in which you talked about your practice of waking up at 4:30 each morning. Why so early, and how did that practice start?
So it started in an effort I wanted to make fitness a priority in what I did. So what it later turned into is the importance of routine in my life in order to be able to uphold my core values. And I know that kind of goes deeper than you probably wanted to go there, but so I journal every morning as well. That allows for uninterrupted time for me to be able to journal, and then also spend my time reading. because I believe that you have to invest in yourself first in order to be able to give back. And so I take that time not only spiritually, but for personal development and time to really appreciate for what happened yesterday, but also what I hope to accomplish in that day. And that's specifically cut out for that. So my 440, it's really 440 and it still exists, but exists every morning. I get up and I have an awesome group of folks that I get to work out with every morning that motivate me, that hold me accountable, and that I continue to try to improve. Even at 56, I want to continue to be better. And then immediately following that, I have a quiet place where I go every morning and sit. Right now, during the cold months, I sit in front of a fireplace and where I get to do those things and take that time and really dedicate myself to some quiet time for setting the stage for the day from that perspective. And then hopefully that I'm able to accomplish more each and every day because of that. So my belief is 1% better every day. How do I get better than I was yesterday? So in that journaling, I do everything from, what were my 3 successes from yesterday? What are the 3 things I hope I accomplished today? And I may track, it may be my weight or maybe fitness, maybe my golf score, or maybe a major business accomplishment that I take time and reflect on and say, how can I learn from that so that I can be that 1% better each day?
That would describe how your coworkers would describe your management style. What 3 words would they use?
I think first and foremost, so first word, I would put trust. I think the second word, I would put fully transparent. And third is 2 words, but we're going to make it 1, no surprises.
No surprises. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
I think all those go back to the way I was brought up, also things that I learned in business young about the way you should treat others. And that's what people want, clear expectations, that you can only accomplish something when both parties are on the same page and have a clear map to get there. And you've got to be able to give honest and open feedback in order to be able to accomplish that without without hurting anybody's feelings along the way, but in a effort to not only improve the organization overall, but that individual, and to be strong communicators so that there are no surprises, so that we can always, worst things that happen to us in life are the surprises that we're unprepared for. When that's avoidable, how can we better prepare for that? And all too often, I think, society lets surprises come about, which could have been avoided.
If you could change one thing about the insurance industry, what would it be?
And that's a great question. My mind immediately went to tort reform. That may not be about the industry, but that's about, I think that, when I think about the ability to really be the best representative for our client in what we do, I think that there has to be clarity to what that true exposure is. And when you have some of these nuclear verdicts that are taking place inside of our industry, so much of that is unpredictable and could impact the business far beyond what the true exposure is. I think that is probably the one thing, if you could just say I could, at a snap of a finger, I could change that. I think that would be the number one thing.
Mm-hmm. All right. And a question I ask everybody with this, is we're talking about Leader's Edge magazine. What do you think gives you your leader's edge in this industry? What makes you an effective leader?
Man, people I'm surrounded by, hands down. I've been blessed. I was taught at an early age, birds of a feather flock together. You are the company that you keep. Surround yourself with good people and you'll be good. And I am a shining example of that. And that's probably the best lesson that I've ever been taught. It raises the bar for you and everybody else around you, and I've got that around me. And this organization has that. I'm not one. None of us are irreplaceable, and I walk confidently knowing that every day. But knowing that I also have a responsibility to provide the best, safest, secure environment for our clients and our employees. And I take that for real.
That was Associate Editor Chris Hann interviewing Andy Barker. I hope you enjoyed it. For more episodes of our Personal Lines podcast series, go to leadersedge.com.